Hello again, it's Nishan, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about freedom and showing up. Those were two words that I chose for this year because I couldn't actually figure out a word that meant both. So I could call it throwing up because that's kind of what it's sort of been like. It's actually been a beautiful, insanely beautiful year. And anyway, I just wanted to kind of entertain the idea that sometimes showing up means not showing up at all, you know? And this is sort of a video especially made for the introvert who bends in and out of extroversion. Like if you're an introvert with extroverted qualities, for example, which might mean you're somebody who really thrives on time alone. Time alone nurtures you and fills you up, and then time around people can actually be a little bit depleting, but it's not always depleting. And you know that if you do spend time around people, you need to sort of recharge pretty quickly after. It doesn't mean that you can't have a period of like 3 weeks or a month or whatever where you're just like all out and just kind of really super social, right? But my guess is that when you're doing that, you're also probably taking pretty good care of yourself in terms of refueling, refilling your gas tank, so to say. So it's okay to be changeable, right? And that has been a lesson for me this year, quite a bit. Actually, it's sort of been like of a lifetime. If you're an old friend of mine, you might know I was just like way more spontaneous and kind of erratic and fun, to be honest. That was a lot more fun. And then there came a point where I felt like in order to grow up and be an adult, like I had to work hard. I had to like bend over backwards for situations I wasn't really happy with. I needed to have this, sense of earth, versus my natural airy, kind of fiery, watery. I don't have much earth in my astrological chart. If you're interested in astrology, I've really had to work on being steady. And it's so funny because, I don't know if you can relate to this, right? People around you think you're super grounded and super chill and super like steady and reliable, right? But you've had to fucking work really hard to get like that. You know what I'm saying? Right? So like you're actually naturally like super whimsical and like spontaneous and and then you find yourself in this role that's like you wanted so much to sort of like become whole that you actually became your opposite, right? So this year has been my year of, okay, yes, I'm introverted. I need to tend to myself, but I also need to cultivate the friendships that I have, and I need to create, like put out into the world, instead of just taking in and like hibernating and which has been like the past 10 years for me in a lot of ways. Okay. One thing that I've really wanted to show up was my yoga practice. I love yoga. I really do. I feel just amazing when I'm doing regular yoga, especially hot, because I love to sweat and just love the flow. And yet I still found myself, I thought I had to go every time, every week, every day that I said I was going to go on my calendar, right? But then I didn't a few times and I felt really shitty. And usually it was because I went out of town or I started my cycle and I was just kind of drained and didn't want to really be around anybody. Or honestly, sometimes it was because like maybe I like had too much wine to drink the day before, and I was like, I don't want to go to yoga today. I'm just going to like do an at-home detox and go about my day. So I like really made myself feel like shit about that. Okay. So do you do that to yourself? Do you like do something that's like really good for yourself, and then when you do the bad, you like forget or you step out or you just kind of like decide to give it up for a day or a week, or maybe you take 3 months off, right? And you're sort of like, man, this is bad. Like I was good then, but I'm bad now, right? Like what the fuck is that? Like that's just like not honoring yourself, because sometimes we just, in order to show up in the world, we need to not show up, right? Like in order to like show up for yourself, That means just showing up for yourself and where you are right now, and not having to like fit into some sense of like as if a regimen and a regular schedule is like the only way, right? Because it's not. Like, it's not. We're different. We're all different. So yeah, maybe if you're watching this, you may have been raised in like the K through 12 school system. Maybe you have a 9 to 5 job, right? Weekends are playtime. Weekday is not playtime. You know, maybe we kind of have this rhythm and schedule, right? But like, you know, nature has a rhythm and schedule. We kind of have the 4 seasons, which is shifting right now, right? I mean, you can see changes, but not every season's the same within it, right? So you can commit to your winter, but you don't have to be like miserable and snowing every day just because it's winter. It could be like a light fluffy snow, or maybe sunny and 70 degrees if you're in Kentucky sometimes. Yeah, so I just wanted to like, I think the reason that I had to have 2 words this year, freedom and showing up, was because like that's my way of having freedom and showing up at the same time. It's throwing up. It's being able to like do whatever the fuck I want. Sometimes I do my yoga regularly and sometimes I don't, but it doesn't mean that I'm like not doing yoga because I don't do yoga that week or something. It doesn't mean that because like you choose, for example, to be super social, it doesn't mean you're no longer an introvert. I mean, you're still yourself. But it's just like allowing yourself that space to be dynamic, you know, to be like kind and maybe sometimes kind of a total asshole at the same time. Not at the same time, ideally. That's just confusing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we're such dynamic people that we need to allow ourselves to be that without judging it. And that's the bottom line. Like, just maybe, are you judging yourself anywhere? Because I know I have had a tendency to, like, my whole life, all the time. And in that space where it's like, that's cool to let that go. Like, it's all right. Just let it go. Like, let it go. Yeah, so I wonder if you can sort of reflect on that, or if you can relate. Like, can you relate to the part introvert, part extrovert? Are you changeable but also reliable? You know, like, where are you sort of like this dichotomy of opposites in your life? And can you be okay with that? Because I'm okay with it. I think it's awesome if you are. Yeah, so that's it. I hope that this is somehow helpful for you. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if you totally can relate or if you totally can't relate, because I'm all about hearing what everybody has to say. So thank you for watching. See you next time.